Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Bedford County Sports Talk Live. I'm David Thomas. Mr. Bill Anderson is with me today. Mr. Kenny Parker could not make it today. I think he's trapped at his house, stuck, can't get out.
Couldn't you took the Subaru out there, or maybe I could have took my Suburban and got old Kenny?
Yeah, we could have probably, but I don't know. I think Kenny's and he's where it's warm right now, and he's comfortable. So
Hey, I had a hard time getting out of mine
No,
today. If it had been for
everybody-
four-wheel drive, I wouldn't have.
everybody has. And this past week, we have not had any kind of high school sports because everybody's been shut down school wise. So I know you did get an update from community, from coach out there. Give us an update on that, Bill.
Yeah, Robbie Davis, appreciate the text message he sent me this morning just to update me. As long as they're back in school on Tuesday, they're going to be at home against Harpeth. And I believe he said on the road, and that's on Tuesday. And they'll be on the road at Cannon County, I believe, on Wednesday, and then Forest at home on Friday. And that's what's fixing to happen is you go from no games to makeup games where you're playing 3 games in 4 days and all kinds of crazy. It's fixing to get crazy about that because they've got to make the games up because of the district games.
Yeah. And you got to have the schedule is set for your tournament. So you got to get all of them packed in between now and the tournament starts. So you're kind of, it's going to be 3 games, 4 games a week until the end of the season, probably, maybe. But if you do have a schedule change out there, coaches, and you're watching this, send it to us and we'll get it posted for you so people will know. And I'm sure you will post it on your Facebook pages or websites as well. But we want to thank everybody for joining us this morning, and we want to especially thank our sponsors, Bill. First Bank of Shelbyville out here on Madison Street, Mr. Brent Kennedy and his folks. Any of your banking needs, go buy a check and check with that crew there. They're a great bunch to work with. And we have Kincaid
Service Company
right up the road at Madison Street. The Kincaids have been in business for years, and service is their middle name. Bill, there's none better than those guys.
Oh, absolutely not. Marquis Kincaid, stop in and see them. They've got a great staff. They deliver to you and they haul the old thing off. Chain stores don't do that. So if you need a refrigerator or you need a washer and dryer or a dishwasher, you're not going to get better service than Kincaid's right here in Shelbyville.
No question. And they will haul it off.
And they'll haul it off. And that's a big thing
Yeah,
anymore.
it is. I'll tell you something. If you had to pay somebody to come pick up a refrigerator, there's no telling what they charge you to do it.
Oh, there's no telling.
Because they've got the manpower.
And if you're going to haul it off, where are you going to take it?
Exactly. That's
the keys. What are you going to do with it?
Also, Corner Cleaners out on North Main Street, Miss Susie Johnson. And right now they're closed because they've got some malfunctions. They've had some pipe problems bursting with all the cold weather. And I'm sure they'll get cranked back up probably first of the week and get back to that. But they do fantastic work. They do all types of dry cleaning. They do pressing. I think they even do washing. And of course they rent tucks.
So that's coming up here pretty soon.
Yeah. Before you know it. Prom season will be here, man. It's hard to believe we're into the 2024, getting deep into 2024, and that will be coming up. But Bill, I want to stop just for a second and tell everybody that we've been trying to cover, Shelbyville now has been trying to cover this, all the closings and what's going on with the weather and the road reports and all that stuff. But just today, guys, if you're at home comfortable and you don't have to get out, don't even try it.
No.
Especially if you live in the county. I took a ride down War Trace Pike today on 64, turned down on Arnold Lane, I guess it was, and just looked at it. And I showed everybody on video. It's solid ice, and that's the way most of your county roads are right now.
Right.
And I know you had problems.
Oh, yeah. Had tons of problems, but I don't know if you caught it, but my wife was showing me on Facebook or whatever where that 18-wheeler was down there.
Right. Horsemount Road? Or was it Normandy Road or Horsemount?
Road right down there somewhere. It was all the way across the road.
Yeah. Just shut the road down.
The whole road shut down.
Yeah. It's the snow that we had earlier wasn't so bad. Now that it's froze solid with that rain that came on top of it, it's just a mess, guys. Don't get out unless you have to. I think we've got 2 more days of this, probably tomorrow, and then Monday it's going to start warming up. Tomorrow afternoon it's supposed to get up to 34 degrees, but it's going to melt, refreeze again. And I'm sure Dr. Garrett is right now starting to look at what they're going to do about schools.
And I'll say something else to everybody out there. If you've got friends that are elderly, check on them, because this right here, this really cold weather is really hard on the elderly. And a lot of these elderly folks don't have people checking on them.
No, that's true. And you've got another night where it's going to go down to 4 degrees. And I just heard yesterday, somebody posted on one of our shows yesterday, that a young man froze to death in Marshall County that one night that it got down to like below zero. So,
well, what gets rough with elderly folks too, if they have to go outside or something, they slip and fall, nobody's checking on them, and it's so slick just to walk. Yeah, I mean, let alone drive a car.
Yeah, just
my driveway's horrible.
Yeah, if just getting to the car is a chore now. If you don't have a clear path or you're not in the garage, you got to walk outside. It's terrible. But guys, be careful on that. And we will be continuing to give live reports, and also go to our website shelbyvillenow.com. And you can see all the closings for all the churches tomorrow. And there's been some businesses want me to post that they're going to be closed in special hours.
There's several restaurants here that are now closed because of pipe freezing.
Right. Because that's the issue. I know El Mexico yesterday.
Like the dinner table's out. I thought Southern Fair was closed. So there was several businesses and restaurants.
I think dinner table's going to be open back today. So
good.
But you've got all this to deal with. It's not just the snow and the bad roads. It's now the water issues, because in District 4, out toward Pleasant Grove to Wheel, there's several people that don't have water right now because of frozen main lines. But all that's going on, but sports is continuing.
Sure.
Bill.
Absolutely.
Since we don't have any high school sports to talk about, let's talk about college basketball. Bill, I know you've been watching the Volunteers play some, and this one player in particular has jumped off the screen at everybody. Connect. He is unreal.
He's the best player I've seen at Tennessee since Allen Houston. The kid can score from anywhere on the floor. He takes over games. Yeah. And this may be why I think Tennessee may have a chance to really go into, once they get into the tournament, make a deep run. This kid is not just special at the collegiate level. He's going to be a one-and-doner because he's a senior, because he was a transfer portal guy, I think, from Northern Colorado or somewhere.
Right.
He's going to play in the NBA.
Yeah, he's going to play in the NBA. And the thing
about be very good in the NBA. His game translates.
And the thing about Tennessee right now, they've got Ziegler, they've got Adu, they got the big guy, they got the help with Ziegler, and you got all these other role players. You got the seventh year senior Vescovi, yeah. And
he's not played real well this year, by the way.
But his presence, being there for that long, is going to help in the tournament time. So UT, I think, has a chance to go.
I do too. And they got Alabama, I believe, today.
Right. So
it's an orange out up in Knoxville.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting. They played Florida the other night, and they moved the game because a friend of mine called and says, I've lived in Knoxville. There's Dr. Angie Burns, and dentist up there. And she says, I've got season tickets and blah, blah, blah. There's 4 inches of snow is all they got. And they moved the game from 7, I think it was, to 4. But she said what was going to kill the attendance was people are at work and can't go at 4.
Right.
But then I turned on the TV and looked at it, and it didn't matter.
It was
they
took off work.
At 4. So somebody took off work, went up there.
Yeah.
Had a great crowd.
So college basketball is getting cranked up. They're making all those conference games and that stretch to the tournaments and March Madness. And I look forward to watching how that plays out. The SEC's got some good teams this year.
Yeah, what's going to give Tennessee some problems in the SEC are teams with length.
Right.
And I'm not talking just height. I'm talking length.
Right.
Like Kentucky's got length.
And
Auburn's got
Mississippi State beat them. They beat them, and they've got those big boys that are 6'7", 6'8". It's got arms from here.
Right.
Wingspans and long. It's a different game than it was 20 years ago.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
But it's fun to watch. So y'all will be watching that. What time's that game today? Do you know, Bill?
I believe it's at 1.
1. Okay. All right. Let's shift NFL. All kinds of stuff happening in NFL. Let's start with our Titans. Bill, what are you hearing out of the camp?
Nobody's talking.
Nobody's talking.
Well, I think everybody's typically what has happened with the Titans in the past is they make a coaching change, and a bunch of the other coaches still stay. Because you got some people that are way back from Munchak that are still on staff. And I think there's a concern that's not going to happen this time, and you're going to absolutely clean house. And that's what I sort of look for them to happen. That's why nobody's doing much talking right here, because you don't know where your job is.
Okay, so who have we interviewed so far?
About 14 people.
14. Are you kidding
I'm
me?
not kidding.
So here's to me.
They're casting a wide net.
I know. And that could be bad.
That could be good.
I know. So the last one, what's the guy's name? Stidwell, or what's his name? I don't know.
The kid from Houston.
Yeah.
The guy from Houston. That's the thing. You really can't interview these guys that are still in the playoffs.
Right. But no. They interviewed somebody, didn't they?
The Shaw guy. I know they interviewed him. He used to be the coach at Stanford. They interviewed him. They interviewed the OC at Philadelphia.
Yeah. What's up with that? I mean, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel the way
because he nearly got his head coach fired.
I know.
I don't understand interviewing that guy.
All right. So Who do you see coming out as the front runners? Y'all talked about this last week, and you
I think it's
three.
it's the Slowick guy, the offensive coordinator, Slowick from Houston. Yeah. I think he's right up there. I think Ben Johnson should be up there. The OC at Detroit should be at the top of the list for the Titans, and he's on the list. But again, he's still both those coaches are still coaching.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you've got the guy that's coming in for the second interview, which is Callahan, the OC from the Bengals.
That's my guy.
And that's my guy, too, if he could bring his dad, especially. Yeah. But the key, I think, is going to be not who the coach is. What staff can you bring with you? So if it comes down to I like three guys, but the guy that I like number three can bring a better staff, you might be better off going with number three than number one because the staff is the key.
Well, who's in the house right now that you would keep?
No one.
I would say
it's a great time to just start over.
Empty it out and start over.
Empty it out, start over. It's time for a fresh start. It's time to do things differently.
They got to get it right.
Oh, they have to get it right this time. You got a new stadium coming up here, and I think they know they've got to get it right. You're going to have to be able to sell it to the fans.
I think Callahan's the man.
Well, I like Callahan, too, and he's getting his second interview. Now, we'll see about the other ones. I do think watch out for the Slowick guy because him and Carthon work close together in San Francisco. Yeah. There's a connection there. But I put like Callahan, and I know they interviewed Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator at Detroit's gotten interviewed. I mean, it's just a huge McDonald from the Ravens, the DC. He's going to get an interview. Of course, he's still playing. Yeah. So if you're going to go with a DC, I do like McDonald because of his background and where he's been.
Yeah.
He's coached for both Harbaughs. He's been the defensive coordinator at Michigan. He's been the defensive coordinator with the Ravens.
All right. So what about Vrabel at this point? Where do you think he's going to land?
The only place he's interviewed is the Chargers.
I know.
And I thought that was Harbaugh's job.
I did too, but it looks like it's not.
Well,
I mean, so where else do you think?
The interesting thing about the Chargers is this is a place where a guy that wants control like Harbaugh and Vrabel, because there is no general manager either. So this is I think they'll hire one of the two of them.
Do you see Vrabel possibly competing with Belichick for Atlanta?
Possibly, but I think Belichick's fixing to be hired in Atlanta.
I think so too. It's the way it looks. I think we're going to hear something real soon.
And I'll just say this. I do not understand why the Dallas Cowboys didn't make a coaching change and hire. I think Belichick could have put them in the Super Bowl.
Probably so.
Probably so. I can't believe Jerry didn't make the move.
There's this one question I keep hanging over my head. Who is Belichick? Is he that great a coach, or did he ride Tom Brady's coattails?
Well, let's say this. If he's not a good coach, Tom Brady was a 6th-round draft pick. So obviously he could coach Brady up to get him to where he was.
Or was Brady just a steal?
And I remember one year, if you'll remember, Brady tore his ACL.
Yeah.
I can't remember that quarterback that came in. They went 11-5 that year.
Right. So do you think
he's won 6 Super Bowls? He's the best of all time.
Is his system that he has still valid today?
Absolutely. The thing where he went awry was when he got too much control and he started doing the drafting and running the front office and coaching.
Too much on him.
Yeah. And that's when it went downhill. And I agree, Brady's an all-time greatest quarterback ever, and he's the all-time greatest coach. But again, this giving these coaches control of everything has failed everywhere it's been done. We can sit and go back. Bill Parcells got complete control. What happened? Didn't work.
Fell apart.
Jimmy Johnson did it in Miami. What happened? Fell apart.
Yeah.
I mean, it's over and over. Jeff Fisher.
Yeah.
You're in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Gets Floyd Reese run off.
Yeah.
What happened? The Titans, boom.
Yeah.
And that's why I think, you saw Amy Adams Strunk not want to give control to a coach because she's seen firsthand what it did to her organization.
Right.
Bill O'Brien in Houston. They gave him, and look what he did to Houston. They're just now recovering from Bill O'Brien.
Yeah. All right. So we got playoffs going on.
Yep.
We're into the divisional round, and things have really surprised me. Green Bay, last week I thought they would play well and Dallas would beat them barely. But, man, that was just a blowout in the first half.
And talk about coaching, and that was something I think Drew and I talked about on that other show. It was about how you scheme to get receivers open.
Right.
You looked up in that game, and Matt LaFleur did some coaching, buddy. He had people wide open.
All night, all day.
Now, there was some really bad coaching on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
And I think if you go back even with Dak Prescott when he throws the pick six, it was a play that Dallas was run all year, and they didn't change the play. And they always fake it to Brandon Cooks, and they go to CeeDee Lamb.
Right.
Well, the player knew they weren't going to give it to Cooks, so he hid the route. Dak never saw him pick six.
Yeah. And CeeDee Lamb and Dak were like the first half.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they were at each other. I mean, there's several.
But when you do the same thing, and this is McCarthy, part of his flaw, is you're going to do this. You never change anything.
Right.
So I heard a coach today talking about how Mike Shanahan, and Kyle Shanahan does it too. They'll go back over the tape. well, we ran this play, and they'll change everything every week from the signals to we ran this 3 times inside the 20, so we'll show the same formation and do something totally different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dallas just sat there and thought, we're better than you are, and we're just going to run what we're running, and severely got out coached.
Yeah. And now
severely.
we're down to 4.
And who was the best quarterback in that game? It wasn't close.
No, it was Love.
It wasn't close.
No, it wasn't close. All right, we got Houston at Baltimore today. Now, this looks like a no-brainer, but to me, this is the AFC Championship right here.
It could be. I still like Buffalo here to make a run, but
do you?
I do. But I think Houston's fixing to give Baltimore a good ball game. That line, the Todd Bobo line, is 9.5.
Yeah, oh, really?
I'll take Houston in the 9.5.
I will too. Now,
I still think Baltimore is the best team in the AFC, but I think Houston could give them some problems here.
I think Baltimore, just me looking at it and on paper, they're going to run the tables and win the Super Bowl. But that one thing you see Houston coming on strong, the way they have the last 5-6 games of the year, and they come in here and they're taking care of business. This could be a real close ball game.
It could be a close ball game, but I think the difference is look at the two defenses.
Yeah.
And Baltimore's defense is a lot better than Houston's.
Yeah.
And it's at Baltimore, which is obviously an advantage.
All right, so I'm going with Baltimore on that one.
Right. But Houston to cover.
Houston to cover. All right, we've got Green Bay at San Francisco tonight on Fox at 7:15. Green Bay, is this a Cinderella story for them, or does it come to a close?
Youngest team in the NFL is going to come to a close tonight.
Yeah, I think San Francisco's ready. They've had some bumps and knocks through the year, but I think they're ready.
Well, unlike several, they were very similar to the Titans in this aspect the last couple of years. They stayed hurt.
Yeah.
This year, they've kind of avoided that. We continue to stay hurt.
Right.
But they have not had the injuries.
Right.
Because I think if they not had the injuries, they would have won a Super Bowl or 2 had they not had all the injuries.
All right. So we've got, what's the line on this one?
The line, I think, is 10.
10. I tell you what, I'm going to take San Francisco in this one, of course. And I don't know what to expect from Green Bay. I mean, they shocked me against Dallas. Is there going to be a little letdown here?
They're well coached. Matt LaFleur, I just cannot commend the job he did against the Cowboys.
They're ending on a good note this year. So, I mean, this
could be a good
game.
You're going against Kyle Shanahan, who can coach too.
That's true. That's true.
You don't have Mike McCarthy on the other sideline.
Are you taking San Francisco?
I'm taking San Francisco.
All right. So we've got Sunday, tomorrow. We've got Tampa Bay at Detroit. Detroit getting their first playoff win since back when Barry Sanders was carrying the ball. That's a long time to go. They almost blew that game, but they pulled and hung on to it, and the whole town of Detroit will celebrate. So what happens now? You've got Tampa Bay coming to Detroit. On paper, this looks like Detroit's just going to wipe them out, but Tampa Bay, here they are. I didn't think they had a chance to make it to the playoffs. What do you see in this game, Bill?
I see Detroit winning this one fairly easily. I see Detroit. Detroit's the better team, but Tampa Bay, you got to give them credit here. I mean, great job by their coach Bowles. Baker Mayfield's played well.
Yeah, and that shocks me. I thought
that shocks me. I thought he was 3.
I did too.
But he's got great weapons. He's got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. I mean, there are some weapons there. Yeah. And defensively, Tampa Bay's not bad.
They've gotten better.
They have.
If you look at their stats, the last half of the season was like every category was up. So,
another game last week when they won, terrible coaching job in Philadelphia. I'm almost surprised they haven't made a coaching change. You go from 10-1 to 1-6 down the stretch.
Yeah, something's going on in the locker room there.
Something's not right.
Yeah,
but that was one team, Tampa, that stopped the tush push.
Yeah,
they stopped it.
Yeah, they did. Well, let's talk about. All right, you've got Kelsey that's retiring. Okay, and then you got AJ Brown. What's going on with him?
Said he wants out supposedly. He's not getting the ball. He's not happy. He wants out.
Okay.
You can see some of the issues of why the Titans, and I know we all loved him here, but there was issues here with him to where you didn't want to give that guy $100 million.
Right.
And I think Philadelphia's now at that place.
I think their record going down the stretch is a direct result of friction with him and somebody, whether it's the quarterback.
He wants the ball.
He wants it. Well,
and sometimes, you want to win more than you want the ball.
Right. I mean, they've got some other good weapons on that team, and they've got to share it around. So he comes in pounding his chest saying he wants the ball. That creates a riff automatically. When you have
the big difference was to me that this is why I wouldn't have interviewed their offensive coordinator. Philadelphia last year ran the football.
Yeah, you don't see it a whole lot.
Now you're trying to have, instead of running the football with Hurts and doing read options, you're trying to make him drop back and pass.
Right.
And that's never been his game.
No, he has to have that ability to get out and
unlike Lamar Jackson, who's learned how to play that way. He couldn't at first, but now he throws the balls and reads defenses and does everything you want.
He is dangerous, man.
He is
dangerous. But I'm gonna go with Detroit at home, and I think Tampa Bay will play good the first half. But Detroit, I think their running game, their two running backs to me are most impressive.
3,000-yard receivers.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Amazing. And that tight end, I think, will be back this week.
Yeah,
the rookie, he's good.
All right, so I'm taking Detroit.
I agree.
All right, Kansas City at Buffalo. This is the AFC game of the week, in my opinion. This old rivalry that goes back, playing at Buffalo. Both teams are used to the cold weather, and I'm sure the weather's going to be terrible. I hadn't looked what game time weather looks like tomorrow, but I'm going to take Buffalo in this one.
I am too.
I don't think Kansas City is something's still off with them, even though they've won and they've got here. They're here. Okay, they're a great team.
And Kansas City's got the better defense of the two. Their defense is good.
I'm taking Buffalo.
But ever since Buffalo made the offensive coordinator change to Joe Brady and went back to letting Allen run the football and letting Josh Allen run the football, they've gone on a great streak. I think they were 5-6 when they made that move, and I don't think they've lost a game since then.
Okay, so what's the line on this one?
The line's 2.5. Buffalo favored by 2.5.
Boy, that's close. I'm taking Buffalo.
I'm taking Buffalo at home.
Yeah, I think so. All right, so that would take us.
You would have Buffalo and maybe Baltimore, and that would be a heck of a AFC title game.
Buffalo, Baltimore, and Detroit.
If it happens the way we think, yeah.
And all right,
San Francisco and the Ravens would be an interesting rematch of a Super Bowl from a few years back.
That's what I'm thinking. I've kind of thought that from mid-season point on that's where we're headed up, and it looks like it's shaping up to be that. So, Bill, some great games this weekend, guys. It's a great day, great weekend just to sit inside and watch some football. And basketball.
I wish, this is just me, I like the 12:30, 12 o'clock kickoff and the late game being at 3.
Yeah, I do too.
But now we've moved everything. It doesn't start till 3:30, and then it's 7:30, 8 o'clock before the second game. And I don't like that.
It seems like every playoff game now has this pregame hoopla, like each game is a Super Bowl.
Right.
I mean, it goes on for 2 hours before they get to the game. I mean, I know these games are important, but I think our television networks are taking advantage of that.
At least it's on television and not on Peacock.
Are you sure, Bill?
Yeah, I'm sure this time.
All right, no
Peacock.
No Peacock.
But that's where we're heading, and that's what's disappointing is I think the time's coming in our lifetime, before our lifetime's over with, that you're going to have to pay to watch a football game on a streaming service.
Well, they're just taking the ordinary guy out of being able to even watch a game.
But I do not understand from a media standpoint, if you're Budweiser or somebody and I paid for X to get 36 million viewers and you put me on a streamer to get 6 million.
I know it's not a good.
That's not a good deal for Budweiser or whatever the company was that's doing the advertising.
You got to ask for a discount on that.
I would want something.
All right, Bill. Again, everybody, thanks for watching. We want to thank our sponsors today, First Bank of Shelbyville and Kincaid
Service Company
here in Shelbyville also, and Corner Cleaners out on North Main Street. We thank these fine businesses here in Shelbyville for sponsoring this show and allowing us to sit here and talk about sports, Bill. It's been a good day.
And we were going to have Charlie Pope on today. I think it's talking about coaches of cancer. And Charlie, I hope you're feeling better. He's a little bit under the weather, but we're going to do a show midweek or something with him to talk about that and get everybody.
Right. Is this their second? This their second.
I think so, yeah.
Last year was a great success. I remember they had a spaghetti supper out of Shelbyville Central. And,
so we're going to have Charlie on to talk about it, everything that's going on, what we're going to do. As soon as he gets feeling better one night this week, we'll come in here and we'll do a show on that. Let everybody know what's going on.
All right. Sounds good. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Y'all stay in, stay safe. If you get on the roads, be careful. See you next week.